and then your promoter says, no, you don't have to say so much. We are already late and we need to move fast. So here we are. Very warm welcome to all of you all. I know it's very hot, but you have to show a little warmth. There's another reason why everyone should clap and bilkul dil se is because you're all part of the screen family now. Do you realize that everyone sitting in this room is special for us because we are doing unveiling of the screen and unveiling of the most beautiful first ever digital cover, and all of you all have made the time to join us. So thank you very much for making the time and joining us. And as I mentioned, that we are in a hurry to move and move quickly because you want to spend more time with Shraddha than actually having some MC to talk and talk too much, right? So I want to start off by saying that we have a very special video which we want to share with you, which is basically, which will just show you the journey of screen since a very, very long time when we started, and since 1951. And it's my absolute privilege to present that video to you, and then we move forward with that.
Screen has been a beacon in the world of Indian cinema since its inception in 1951. It quickly became the ultimate destination for all things film. But how did it get here? Let's take a journey through its remarkable history. Launched by the Indian Express Group, Screen rose in popularity over decades. It set the bar high for film journalism in India. 1994, the year when Screen introduced the prestigious Screen Awards, celebrating excellence in Hindi cinema. Then came the 2000s, the pinnacle of influence. And now, in 2024, Screen is back. Experience cutting-edge cultural coverage with India's most esteemed entertainment brand. Stay tuned for more as we continue to celebrate the best of Indian cinema.
So as I'm under pressure to move very, very quickly, the person who was put too much pressure on me, and I told him, I said, I'm getting nervous if you're going to put too much pressure on me. But here we are. Please join me in welcoming the young and very dynamic Anant Goenka, our Executive Director, who's brought Screen back to say a few words. Go on the stage.
Thank you. Ladies and gentlemen, very warm welcome. I always wondered what made my grandfather start a film newspaper back in 1951. One that went on to become so iconic and be a market leader. If you know, I'll just give you a minute to tell you about the Express Group. The Indian Express Group was started on a call by Gandhi for an English newspaper that supported freedom. And so you can just imagine how deep-rooted the politics is in India, in our company. It's everything, actually. It's a very serious organization. It's very intellectual. It's all of those things. I just never understood how Screen fit in, back in 1951. And I think what happened is, I think he realized the power of an industry that sells dreams. I think he realized the important role the film industry plays when it shapes the dreams of an entire population at least once a week on Friday night. And he realized that in the made-up world of film, not just Bollywood, but all the woods, all the regional cinema, good journalism, free press, and free speech is just as important as it is in the space of economic policy, politics, city governance, and all the other boring areas. Screen was good film journalism. I think the time has come once again for us to reflect on what good film journalism is and what good film journalism isn't. I think good film journalism is respectful, not servile. I think good film journalism understands privacy, also celebrates public following. I think it questions without accusing, it critiques, but with an open mind, It challenges status quo while appreciating the journey to achieve success. And good film journalism is always happy to accept a mistake. Good film journalism doesn't want to become friends with the stars. We all want to be friends with Shraddha, but we don't want to become, but that's not the cause of doing film journalism. I think it wants to unpack the stars process. It wants to unpack the director's vision, the producer's ambition, and the technician's craftsmanship. And I think most importantly, good film journalism has integrity to serve the public first, just like the stars do. The stars always put the audience first. So Screen's going to be a renewed attempt at that, and it has a very good starting point. Over the past 7 years, ladies and gentlemen, the IndianExpress.com, which is one of the world's top 20 news websites, the entertainment section of our IndianExpress.com has been clocking around 40 million unique visitors a month, 40 million unique visitors a month, every month, consistently for almost 7 years now. So we have a good starting point because we've been doing this by being distinctively expressed, by being intelligent, by not lowering the standard, like you see in a lot of entertainment news. So all of this is now going to be called Screen. So I had asked Amitabh Bachchan, our country's living legend and someone I've had the pleasure to work very closely with for many years, to reflect on the issues I spoke to you about a little earlier in my speech. So he sent a video message talking about many things, but cleanly avoiding all the issues I kind of asked him to talk about. He chose instead to pull my leg and still offer a fascinating perspective, one that only he can. So I'm going to ask you to watch his video message. And just before we play that video, I feel it's interesting and poetic that the star of our inaugural digital cover is the gorgeous Shraddha Kapoor, because Shraddha and Shraddha's first film was Amitabh Bachchan. So it's nice that we're going to be hearing from him and then you'll be hearing from her. So thank you, Shraddha, for being here. Thank you for being part of the unveiling of Screen. And thank you all for gathering here. Let's hear from Amitabh ji.
Namaskar, this is Amitabh Bachchan. And I'm here on the video to be able to send a message to my dear friend, Shri Anant Goenka of the Indian Express, who sent me a message that he wanted my presence today for the inauguration of, or should I say the re-inauguration of the Screen magazine digitally. The Screen magazine used to be printed earlier on, and then it went off print. And now Shri Anant Goenka is wanting to re-inaugurate it and relaunch it in a digital format. And he wanted my presence there. And due to my schedule, days and dates not available, and also the fact that I'm medically restricted from going out into public spaces and to avoid them as much as possible. Unfortunately, I want to excuse myself from today's event. And I do hope that all of you will give it a compassionate understanding. Anant, if I can call you Anant on this occasion, had wanted to have a relaunch with my presence there and wanted to sit with me and chat with me at the event and talk to me about the film and the film industry, its future and what is happening in a rather long, very complicated conversation, if I may say so. To which I said, I'm not qualified or not intelligent enough to be able to debate with you on any of these issues. My knowledge about the cinema and its future, and all those questions that you raised, Anant, in your mail to me were far too complex, so I excuse myself. But I do wish you all the very best. And I wish Indian Express all the very best on the relaunch digitally of the Screen. My own remembrance and my own association with the Screen has been quite long. When I joined in the late 60s and 70s, the Screen was a very prominent film uh, I don't know whether to call it a magazine or a newspaper, because its size was very large. It was unlike any of the other film magazines. And it was like a newspaper. It was the size of a newspaper. And what was most attractive to me at that time was the advertisements that filmmakers would put out for their film at the time of its release, covered an entire page. And it looked very commanding and it looked very attractive. And some of the banter that, we used to have with our colleagues is, देखो स्क्रीन में हमारा इश्तिहार छपा है और तुम्हारा कुछ भी नहीं छपा, or things like that. We used to joke with each other. But just the size was very attractive as a banter to tease some of our colleagues. The other thing about screen was, at that point of time, was that many other magazines came up which were kind of sensational in their nature. And well, this is a free world and one is allowed to express themselves freely. But screen, I felt, avoided any kind of sensationalism, any kind of messaging or writings that would be close to any kind of happenings which could be sensational in nature. And the editors, Rauf Ahmed and Bhavna Sumaya, were very deeply concerned on these issues and had a kind of maturity which we used to find in the kind of messages and the readings that came. There was no gossip. There was no banter about film stars and their doings. There was just information about films and some very good write-ups about the film industry. One of the things that Anant had asked me was, whether I could share some thoughts on the future of cinema. My own intelligence is very poor, Anant, and I'm sorry that I will fall short of giving you any kind of inputs there. But I can only notice, because of my association with the film industry for so many years, of some of the changes that I notice, and they're very common. Initially, of course, what I wish to say is that technologically, the technology of filmmaking has changed considerably. Modern cameras, modern methods of shooting films, the chip has come in instead of the celluloid film. And of course, that's an issue of debate also. And it's given rise to, how the future of cinema is to be viewed. The entire effect of VFX and AI has given cinema a different outlook. And some of us are very happy, some of us are very concerned, but that's the future, as what everyone is saying. For me, that I notice is, of course, yes, the technology, but I also notice the change in the nature of the workers, of our crew that works on set and on the floor. During my time, these workers worked assiduously, sometimes bare feet, wearing just about a very soiled pajama kurta, and coming to work and doing all kinds of rather dangerous works, climbing up the trapas on their own and walking on the planks upstairs. And there's always the fear of them falling. And there were a few incidents where we had very serious injuries and of workers actually falling down from there. But that is what I noticed then. And I notice the workers today. And I see all of them in very modern attire, jeans and t-shirts, and wearing sneakers. And all of them wearing these walkie-talkie sets so that they can communicate with the other members on set. We never saw this in my time. And I feel happy about that. That's the kind of progress that I feel, if you want me, my honest opinion about cinema. Yes, there's the technology and there's the writing and there's the quality of cinema. I'm least qualified for all that. But for me, this is what has always been very prime in my mind, that the common worker has had a better living, perhaps, to be able to afford a pair of jeans, a pair of sneakers, t-shirts, and the production that gives them earpieces and walkie-talkie sets to be able to communicate to other members on the set. Normally, the sets are a bit loud in nature, where workers are shouting at each other, "Arey, oh, bandur band kar, uska darwaja band kar, idhar light la." And all this noise has suddenly now disappeared because they're talking to each other on the intercom and the walkie-talkies. Anant, I wish you all the very best. And as you know, digitalization has become very common nature amongst all of us. All of us are going to be, living off this instrument that I am recording this message to in the future. So that's a great thinking, great thought. I wish you all the very best. May Screen digitally prosper, as have all your other efforts in printing and publishing. And I hope we get an opportunity to meet again to be able to talk about this at greater length. Thank you so much, and wish this event all the very best. Namaskar. Thank you.
So this effortless grace of Mr. Bachchan and his voice is absolutely captivating. And, and we only extend our many thanks that he's really taken out time to say what he said. We really stand for honesty and courageous journalism, but what matters is unbiased journalism in entertainment, and that's what we're going to be carrying on. So now we move to a very interesting part of this evening. And as you know, what we're going to be doing is going to be unveiling of our first ever digital cover. And for that, you know who's a very special guest. The star cover girl herself. Big round of applause one more time for Shraddha. Shraddha, most absolutely gorgeous, yes, but absolutely talented. I'm a personal fan of your wit and humor as well. So we move forward with this one. And I would like to quickly do a very tiny introduction of Shraddha so that we all know some of the things that we were not aware of till now. So we've got someone, yes, absolutely, and most special, Shraddha Kapoor, who's one of the most rare stars who just connects with people effortlessly. It just comes to her naturally, both on and off screen. We're going to see the magic and experience it ourselves this evening. She's talented, and her heartfelt performances in various films, including Baghi, and her charming presence in Tu Jhooti Main Makar, Shraddha has shown time and again that she can do it all the time. And of course, how can we forget her recent super success, Stree 2, which took the box office by storm, breaking records and reminding us all that ye Stree kuch bhi actually kar sakti hai. Good luck, Shraddha, for future and all your endeavors in your craft. And as you know, I don't know how many people actually know that till some time, Shraddha Kapoor was the second most followed Instagram Indian celebrity. But today, you have to know that Shraddha is the most followed Indian actress amongst all that you see. So let's give it up for the most incredible, talented, gorgeous, and witty Shraddha Kapoor to join us on stage. And I request Jyoti Sharma Bava, who's our editor for entertainment and lifestyle for digital, to do this very special honors. Yeah, do it like that. Yeah, the Punjabi, yeah. No, you should do it the Punjabi way. Yeah. वो हो जाएगा हाँ. We need some more strength and power. Woo! So you can see this is the cover, the star cover girl, Shraddha revealing, unveiling the first ever digital cover. Congratulations to you, Shraddha, and congratulations, Jyoti, for bringing her on the cover at the right time and the right person. Now I request Anant Goenka to join us on stage with Mr. Suresh Kumar Bhutani, our presenting partner, Ixico, to please celebrate this special moment with us. Woo! Make some noise! Woo! Now we have our very dear representatives of very valuable partners. Shraddha, they all want, no, you stay here. They all want to walk up to you for this special photograph. I request E-Tail, Bama, Smash, Hexo, Innate Essentials, Saint Stallion, Stranger and Sons, all of you all to be on stage for a very special photograph. Please come. Both sides, yeah. Woo! Woo! Thank you very much, everyone. Now you're in very good hands, Shraddha. I'm leaving you with Jyoti Bava to have this conversation. Yeah.
वो स्त्री है वो कुछ भी कर सकती है. She can make box office records, she can break them. She delivered Indian Hindi cinema's biggest hit ever this year. So Shraddha, आप अपनी चमत्कारी चोटी साथ लाई हैं?
First of all, good evening, everyone. I have to say that growing up in a filmy household, screen has been a part of uh, those moments when I would run to my hall and look for the new issue. My brother and I would sit and we would flip through the magazine and we would just be like, आज कौन से फिल्म स्टार की फोटो आई है, आज क्या खबर आई है, and पापा की फोटो है क्या. So it's really something, it's very special to see myself on its relaunch cover. So I want to say thank you so much. It's really very personal because that little girl in the living room is now up on the cover. So
Amazing.
it feels awesome, and I have to say that my parents are really, really proud. So thank you so
Lovely.
much for having me on the relaunch cover of this iconic magazine.
Thank you so much.
And of course, मेरी चोटी तो हर वक्त मेरे पास रहती
हमेशा?
है. मेरे दो pockets है. It's in one of them. So I'm तैयार. I'm prepared. Whenever I need it, I'll just bring it out.
Let's make the magic happen then. So tell me, 600 crores and counting. 3-2 has been this massive success. So according to you, who or what is the reason for this, that critical thing that has really worked with the audience? What is that? Who is that according to you?
I'll be very honest. I truly believe that when 3-1 happened, it happened about 6 years ago. Maddock was just up and coming as a production house as well. all the actors in the film, we were at very different paths, stages in our careers. We were also growing in our own ways. And my personal reaction to when I heard the first part was I felt like I hadn't heard a film like that. Uh, it was based on a an urban legend, and I was literally falling off the sofa when I heard it, and I felt I'm so glad that they came to me for this film, which is pure entertainment, and I'm genuinely laughing at the dialogues, the scenes. I'm enjoying myself. My character is this mysterious girl who comes and goes, and you're constantly wondering about her presence. So I have to say that the kind of love that the first part itself got, um, it was immense. It was really, really huge, the kind of accolades that the film got. So I have to say that it all began there. And then hats off to our producer, our writers, my director, for them to really crack a sequel, because it's important to really not make a sequel for the sake of it. You really have to have some substance if you're going to bring people to the theaters and garner genuine appreciation. So I feel hello, hello, hello. I feel like they really stood by the premise of staying true to how a sequel should be made. So I feel it all started with Stree 1, and they did a super job by cracking the story of Stree 2, getting all the entertainment factors into the film. We have brilliant actors in the film. We have some really entertaining dialogue. So I truly, truly believe it has been a fabulous team effort and pure cinematic joy, and really proud to be a part of this film. And the audience decides, right? They know that they want to leave their homes for entertainment, and we're really happy that we could do that for them.
And it seems we are ready for threes, 3, 4, and so on and so forth already, right?
So my director Amar sir, he said कि कहानी मिल गई है स्त्री 3 की. So I got very excited, and I mean, kuch to amazing he must have, they all must have thought. So I can't wait to know what it's about.
But it is a powerful statement, even in 2024, to have a film called Stree. Till a few years back, Hindi filmmakers will give these very powerful macho names to their cinema. And today, Stree is the highest earning Hindi film ever. So, in a world of Singhams, Jawans, Pathans, Tigers, what do you think this success signifies, especially when it comes to the way audience is looking at content?
I think it signifies a very, very simple thing. A good film always works. And I feel like the audiences only care about that now. And I think that should motivate all of us to pull our socks up and not take anything for granted, and really, really make some really good films and stay true to the craft. I think that's what it means.
But what about its feminist narrative? You think that also connected? Because one of my favorite scenes in the film has you beating up the demon while the men cover behind you. It's such a powerful statement, right?
यार उस मोमेंट में ना बहुत मजा आया कि एक लड़की आ रही है अपनी चोटी निकाल के धुलाई कर रही है, एंड आई फील लाइक I mean, just imagine the imagination of the writers, right? It's fabulous to give a woman her strength in her choti. I had a great time. Those were my favorite bits to play, to enact. I just thought it was genius. And the fact that it makes sense. You know, so मुझे बहुत मजा आया. और मैं ना मतलब घर पे भी ऐसे चोटी लेके घूम रही थी और सबको बता रही थी कि मतलब सावधान रहना, चोटी है मेरे पास. It was a lot of fun.
But can success also be isolating? You have been through the entire gamut. You had a rocky start to your career, and then these pop culture moments with Ashiki 2, with Heather, with Chichore, Tu Jhuti, and now Stree. So tell me, what is lonelier? Is it success or is it failure? And how do, say, your contemporaries react to both? What sort of response do you get from Bollywood ecosystem?
I'll be very honest. I still live with my parents, with my brother, my dogs, and for me, it's a blast. My entire journey has been a great time in the film industry. I feel like I've been very, very blessed, and my entire family. As I said, I live with my parents. They have seen me go through the ups and downs. But to answer your question, I really do believe that failure is supremely essential towards success, and failure is a very big teacher, and it is a part of life. It's absolutely a part of life, and I'm very, very blessed to have a fabulous support system. And every day, I'm super grateful for where I am, because I know how many people want to live the celluloid dream, and how many people. My dad, he has come from a non-filmy family. Uh, his stories are so incredible of coming from Delhi. My Dadaji had a textile store, and फिर मेरे dad को बोला कि you work in Delhi and you do whatever you want in Delhi, and my dad had joined a travel agency, but my dad wanted to act, and he of course hopped onto a train and he came to Bombay. And those stories are those stories that really make me want to keep my head down, because my dad really made it from scratch and made it on his own. So I have had a really, really fabulous support system at home. So through and through the ups and downs, I've been very, very blessed. I don't know if this answers your question, but you were asking, is it lonelier when you're successful, or is it lonelier when you're going through failures? I feel like if you have your closest ones with you, you're okay through the entire journey.
But I think that also defines you, because we see you as this girl who has her loved ones around, but we don't see you at parties, at Bollywood even so much. But so the larger ecosystem, you have your people and you stick with them. Is that what you're saying?
I recently got a puppy, okay? And now all the more that I feel like, yeah, there is no place like home. Very honestly, there is no place like, and it's nice also to just जल्दी खा के सोना, पपी के साथ थोड़ा-सा टाइम वाइम स्पेंड करना, पर ऐसा नहीं कि मैं पार्टीज़ में नहीं जाती. I don't know why it's become like, "Oh, she doesn't go anywhere." That's not true. That is not true at all. Yes, I am more of someone who loves to be at home as much as possible, and be with my family and my close friends, etc. But yeah, ऐसा नहीं है, मतलब मैं जाती भी हूँ.
And this brings me
But
to,
if I have to add, it depends कि मतलब ऐसे होता है ना कि चलो आज मूड है, चलो जाते हैं, and नहीं है तो घर पे रहते हैं. It's like that.
you follow your own drumbeat, and that's the way to do it. Let's also, you have another family, your 93.6 million followers on Instagram. What a massive, massive success. Just in today's day and age, how difficult it is to stay relevant, because the trends change faster than anything on Instagram. Also, what kind of investment does it demand of you, because you're a full-time actor who also has this huge following for which you have to remain relevant? How do you balance both?
So I do a lot of मस्ती on Instagram. I'll be honest, मुझे बहुत ज़्यादा मज़ा आता है, और I have to tell you कि बहुत entertaining लोग मिलते हैं आपको Instagram पे, जो मैं अपने comments में मिलती हूँ after I put a post or something, and I will sit and I will read the comments, and I have to tell you, it is so entertaining and it is so much fun, and there is so much creativity in some people's comments that automatically I feel like retorting, replying back. And very honestly, I handle my own social media, and I have a lot of fun with it, and the entire credit goes to everybody who shows up on my comments and enjoys and does masti with me. So I have to give it to them. The credit goes entirely to them.
I follow you on Instagram and you are a lot of fun. You are responding to comments and your wit always shines through.
It's very, how do you call it? Cheesy also, no? So,
Fun. It's all you. I think relatability is what works for you. Uh, at this stage of your career, tell me, what will Shraddha Kapoor not do when it comes to films or characters? Everybody has, their reservations. For instance, some actors will not do certain kind of intimacy scenes. Others look at messaging. But what is Shraddha's no-go area?
I feel like, very honestly, I believe that my best is yet to come. And I definitely want to feel when I'm going to be a part of a film that it is going to be something exciting for me as an actor. It is going to be something exciting for me to be a part of a particular story that is really riveting, that may have a message which is subliminally, passed on to the audiences. And so I am in that headspace right now, which is also why, there was a time where I was doing a lot of films back to back, and now it's become the opposite. It's like 3 साल में एक release हो रही है, या एक, that has happened with Tu Jhuti Main Makkar and Baghi 3, and it's fine. Like, I found my comfort in that now, because I feel like I want to be a part of films where I really feel fulfilled as an actor, and I can push myself as an actor as well, and definitely do something different from what I've done before.
Which I think you always do, because if we look at your filmography, this is one thing that always stands out.
But I'm not in that, there has to be a lineup of films. My next film hasn't even been announced. And and it's okay till I don't feel like, because it takes a lot for anybody to be a part of a film. It takes months, it takes a lot of work and a lot of prep. So till I feel that from the bottom of my heart, yeah.
Well, I have a very interesting segment planned for you. I want to know how would Shraddha Kapoor behave if she was to deal with situations your characters faced in your films. Okay, so
Okay.
for Ashiki, if you have a clingy boyfriend who's threatened by your success, how will you react?
First of all, I don't think in Ashiki that was Rahul Jekar's character. He had an alcohol problem. He wasn't threatened by my character's success. Unfortunately, the demon of alcoholism overtook him. But if I had a character like that, run for your life, run in the other direction. Where is the exit? Bhago.
Bhago, right. Chichore, if you are you are an outsider in what is essentially a boys' club.
No, but I was a part of the gang. So what would I do, you're saying?
So if you are one of the very few women in what is essentially a boys' club, what do? Enjoy the attention?
But no, I wouldn't be an outsider. I would be like, "Arey, buddies."
I'm one of the guys.
Because also in school, I have been like that. I've also been one of the boys. So I can relate to that.
Okay. Half girlfriend. Do you have commitment? You have commitment issues in the film. But what about real life, Shraddha?
Do I have in real life? I am that full fairy tale romance chahiye in life kind of a person. So no half girlfriend business for me in real life.
Tu Jhuti Main Makkar. A girl who wants a healthy distance from her family, but is in love with a boy who wants her to live with in an in a joint family setup.
When you're that's tricky. That is tricky. Because I can't answer this on the spot, But also, see, I live with my family. I love living with my family. It's that energy of having your family members around. And I mean, there's constantly a party at home. So till I'm not in that situation, this one I nahi pata. But I have to share one anecdote. We have this system in my home where whenever anybody wants space from each other, we have made D&D signs. D&D हमने लिखा हुआ है एक पेपर पे और वो हम कमरे के बाहर लटका देते हैं. So the rules of this D&D is कि only if it is an emergency can you bang on the door really, really loudly or scream and shout. And or if it's not, then just wait till that sign is off.
So as we are at the screen launch, and you already spoke very nicely about, how it was for you as a child, you must also be reading about your father, your family. Was it strange sometimes to, see how this is happening, or were you always comfortable with the attention?
So growing up, everyone in school would be like, शक्ति कपूर की बेटी है, पता है बड़े विलेन है वो, संभल के रहना. And I used to in fact walk with a chip on my shoulder ki you don't know who my brother is, because my brother was 3 years older and he had a lot of tashan in school. So I used to have that ki nobody can mess with me, bhaiya hai, aur wo from the top floor I will complain and all of that. So of course, growing up in a film family with my Masis, my grandfather being, I have musicians in the family also. So it's been a very creative environment that I've been brought up in as well. And of course, seeing my father and my Masi, them going to their shoots so it has been an integral part of my life. And but ऐसा नहीं था कि it, because I have always had friends also who've not been a part of the industry, and they are my best friends today also. It never felt like somehow ना कि ऐसा feeling नहीं हुआ कि यार filmy family से हूँ या ऐसे. No, it didn't feel like that very much.
Oh, lovely. So she handled my questions very well. Now I will invite Anant to do a very special rapid fire segment with her. Over to you, Anant.
Thank you. Lovely talking.
So, Shraddha, the rapid fire segment is the one thing that I think doesn't need explanation in Bollywood.
And I have to tell you, I'm not very rapid at it.
No, that's fine. So
I will give you one paragraph,
Okay.
1.5 minute long answers,
Chalega.
and you will smile through them.
Chalo,
Everyone will be polite about it.
No, chalega. But if you find any of them, but you're also welcome to pass if you find any of them too difficult, because there's no hamper, so you can do that. Okay. So the one thing that has changed for the better in cinema over the past 14 years of your career.
The one thing that has changed for the better, this has to be rapid, right? I think more opportunities to do different kinds of cinema, and to experiment more and think out of the box more and I told you my paragraphs will start.
No, that's fine.
And I think the evolution of cinema and being more experimental, I suppose.
Okay. And the one thing that's changed for the worse in the last 14 years.
In the last 14 years, one thing that's changed for the worse. I guess I don't know if anything has changed for the worse.
Are star salaries better or worse?
Oh, our salary is better or worse? Then 14. I mean, I'm earning more today than I was 14 years ago.
Yes, and is that better or worse?
It is better for me.
And is it better or worse for the industry?
I mean, there is a pay parity, and it is. I feel like it's changing. I do feel like it's changing also.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Because I also feel like actresses are stating what they feel as well.
Okay.
Yes.
But stars overall, I mean, not actors and actresses, but just across the board, like actors, one thing we keep hearing is that that actors and actresses both are getting paid so much more than they were 14 years ago. Is that good for the industry? Is it bad for the industry? You think overall?
What they're getting paid?
Yeah, the fact that it's grown so much over the last 14 years is.
You know, I would want to say that whatever is positively going to affect making a film the way that it's supposed to be made.
Yeah.
And those calls producers will have to take.
Okay.
There
Fair.
are, and it's their vision. And I feel like, and there are a few who have a long-term vision
Yeah.
and really think about where the industry is headed.
Yeah.
So I don't know, if you follow that, if those people are following that,
Yeah.
then maybe there could be. I don't know if I answered your question.
I think you're saying that it's up to the producer to decide how much the star is worth paying.
And that is I don't think there is a uniform way that everybody is following that.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Fine. Tell us a personal anecdote where social media has helped you professionally and where it's caused trouble.
Professionally, I feel like it's been a fabulous medium for me to connect with my fans.
Yeah.
And what's happened is over the years, we have formed this bond between myself and my Insta family, and we're called, we call each other Shraddha Gems, Babudis, and this has been growing. So that bond, I think, is very precious.
Okay.
Where you can't maybe meet someone face to face, your fans and well-wishers face to face. I think that's been amazing. I think what has been a drawback of social media
for you
is, for me personally,
somewhere where you found that it's causing some trouble. It's giving you whatever. Tell me where.
No, I feel like the way that I interact with everybody and the way that I choose to have my bond with my Insta fam has only been positive for me, very honestly.
Fine. What scares you and what excites you about artificial intelligence in cinema?
In cinema.
In cinema.
What scares me about artificial intelligence nowadays, they have those things, right, where they can map your face and all of that. I think that there will be some what do you call it? What's the word for it?
There'll be deep fakes, there'll be morphing.
No, the deep fakes are already there, right?
Yeah.
And there are there's a debate over it, and I believe also there's some action being taken over it. But I feel like if it's used in a positive way, it could really enhance a cinematic experience. Of course, I do feel like you have to be really creative with it.
Yeah.
Very honestly.
But it's much easier now to age you up 30 years and to make a Rajnikant look like a college student with AI. Anything can happen. So in that way, filmmaking, there's more creativity. Do we lose something in the craft with so much of technology?
No, I don't think so. If you have a film like Benjamin Button, for example, and if you're making something equivalent to that today, where you can creatively use AI as a enhancement of your, I mean, it becomes a character in your film in itself, right? So I feel like if you use it creatively, why not?
Okay. So I was just to prepare for this, I looked at some of your interviews, and you have been asked by everyone if you believe in ghosts after Stree 2. So I won't ask you if you believe in ghosts because I know the answer. I think most of us know the answer.
What is the answer?
Tell us. Has it changed?
Because
has it changed since the movie?
I think I've given different answers in different interviews.
So tell us, what is the answer? Do you believe in ghosts or not?
See, I don't know if we can say they're ghosts, but I definitely believe that there's a lot out there that we don't know.
Okay.
There is a lot out there. We feel like हमें सब कुछ पता है, हमें हाँ हाँ भूतों के बारे में, हाँ ऐसे भूत होते हैं, वैसे भूत होते हैं, ये टाइप का होता है, वो टाइप का होता है. I feel like there is so much that we don't know, and there's so much that can exist out there.
So I want to know what else you believe or not believe in. Do you believe in life on other planets?
Apparently there has been evidence that that could be a possibility. I am also someone who is, how do you say, I have this very imaginative and very head in the clouds side to me, where I'm like, Arey, it would be cool, right, if there is life on Neptune. But I'm also someone who will be like, oh, was there evidence for it? I mean, it'd be
Okay.
cool, but was there evidence for it?
Okay.
You never know.
Tell me the last time you unfollowed someone on Instagram.
The last time I do it subsequently every now and then. Because also I've realized that sometimes I've accidentally ended up following also people
Okay.
who I don't want to follow. And then I'm like, when did this happen? Okay, so that happens.
Okay.
I will unfollow also.
So your advice to the young influencer who wants to aspire to have 93.6 million followers, if they come to you for advice and say, Shraddha, we want to be like you, we want to have that kind of success on Instagram, what would you tell them? What's your advice?
See, I never imagined that, this would become a big thing of having an X amount of
Yeah.
followers. It just ended up happening. And I feel like people out there want to see who you are, and just be yourself. And social media is also a place where people feel like they have to change who they are to garner eyeballs. And I feel like that can really put a lot of pressure on you, and that can really affect your mental health. And also, always on social media, what you see is not what you get. But I really do try to be as authentic as possible. So I would say, ki yaar, be as
Just be
authentic
authentic
as you can.
Okay. I think we're going to wrap up with I think one last question, which my social media team is insisting I ask you: is Dhoom 4 happening?
So no, it's as I said, I've actually not officially signed any film. And in fact, that I don't even know where these rumors come from. I've not been offered most of the films that rumors have come out about. So I'm like,
Okay, good. So we heard from the horse's mouth then.
yeah.
Can we end by, your accents is very famous, and I discovered it just last night. I mean, the accents you do, they're fantastic. So, yeah. So can we ask you, you've done the photo shoot for us, you've made time for us. So I'm going to be very selfish and ask you for one last thing. Can you say screen is back? In as many accents as you like, and then we'll...
In as many. Really? What can I say? As you can see, the iconic screen magazine. It is, I'm on the cover, and it's really nice to be on the cover and to meet all you lovely people. And okay, so I think it's a wrap now. This is my British attempt at my British accent, and it was lovely talking to all of you. Thank you so much. Have a lovely evening.
It's fantastic. So thank you so much for playing
Thank
football.
you so
Thank
much.
you.
Thank you. Thank you, everyone. Thank you very much.
I'm sorry. I promised a few friends we'll ask you just 2 questions. I'm so sorry. Take 3 questions. Can I get a... Yes, please. Go ahead.
Hello.
Who's your ideal travel partner and go-to adventure buddy?
Who is my family? When that is when I can get a hold of all 4 of us to travel together. The best time that I have is with my family when we travel. We have just a great time. So my entire family.
Is there another question right here? Mike, can we get a mic in the first row, please?
Hello. Hi, Shraddha. I'm Vijay.
Hi.
Please tell us about your experience of driving your Lamborghini and how far have you driven?
So I have to tell you the inspiration behind getting the car, the supercar, is my father had a sports car. And my father said, he used to tell me stories about when he had got his sports car. He used to apparently get out of the car and kick it and shut the door. And I can only imagine my dad doing that, with style. So I've not tried that yet because I don't think I can get that much style, even 5% of that style. But I really felt like I wanted to copy my dad, yeah. And it's a lot of fun to drive around. अभी मॉनसून में वो उसको थोड़ा रेस्ट दिया है क्योंकि मॉनसून में बोला कि आप चिल करो गैरेज में, मॉनसून जब खत्म होगी ना तो I'll take you out again.
And this monsoon isn't ending.
Yeah.
Yes, Ravi, please go ahead.
Hi, Shraddha.
Hello.
Firstly, let me admit I'm a big fan of yours.
Oh, thank you.
And you're acting right, which is natural and which is very rare. I think not just me, entire India. As you're here for a screen launch, right? I have a question related to that. So, like, you have been a part of so many successful movies, right? So, I want to know what role screen gonna play or contribute in documenting the legacy of the Bollywood, and how the screen gonna, help in shaping the future of the actors. That's my question. Thank you.
How is? I think that's for
I
you.
think Stree, you said
Oh,
how's
My question is screen, right?
how screen? How's
How it's
screen?
gonna contribute in documenting the legacy of the Bollywood? That's my
I'll
first.
just answer mine. You think of yours, so you can get.
I think it's going to contribute in a big way.
Oh, thank you.
I think it's going to be incredible. It's been an iconic magazine, and as Mr. Bachchan also said, that there was no sensationalism. And earlier, when you heard Mr. Anant also speak, I'm really looking forward to the relaunch, and I'm very excited about it. And over to you now.
I'll just. I was watching the Salim Javed documentary. I don't know if you saw it. I really enjoyed it, and I remember then that when Sholay released, it was a flop. Show fans who all know that Sholay release was a flop. The film fans here, and so apparently Salim Javed put an ad in Screen saying that this film is going to be a hit. And immediately after that ad, people started giving the film a try, and then sure enough, you know what happened to Sholay. So I think there are very few brands that have so much of attachment to the history, and I can't tell you how, but I'm very confident that we'll, as long as our our motivation of doing this is for the right reasons, I think audiences kind of follow. Sorry, but you asked her a question about how she's going to the first piece. Did you answer? Okay, super. Thank you so much, Shraddha. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Ladies and gentlemen, as we now move to the most exciting, equally and more exciting segment, please, big round of applause to welcome Vijay Verma, actor, and Raju Hirani ji. Yeah, please. Yeah, anywhere, wherever you come from. Just in time, we've just finished a very exciting, very, very interesting conversation with Shraddha. Thank you very much, Mr. Hirani, for making the time, and very talented actor Vijay for taking out the time. As we move forward, these two gentlemen don't need any introductions. As you all know, Mr. Raju Kumar Hirani, known for acclaimed blockbusters one after the other, Munna Bhai, MBBS, Three Idiots, my personal favorite, Three Idiots, and which I think I must have seen, I don't know how many times, and Shah Rukh Khan's starrer Donkey, which we've seen recently. And with him, we have a very young, and it's a really interesting combination because we have somebody like him and very, very young and bright actor Vijay Verma, whose Netflix, I'm sure, series you all must have seen, IC814, which has been such a huge success. Big, big welcome to both of you. There's a mic there. Come. And now I request Shubhra Gupta, who joins us in conversation with both of them. Shubhra Gupta is one of the most popular digitally and otherwise famous award-winning journalist who writes on films, and also and also film critique. So over to you, Shubhra.
Thanks, Umbreen. Good evening, everyone. Also, a film critic should have been the first one. I'm the long-standing film critic for the Indian Express, and I really am delighted to be speaking to both of you. Mr. Hirani and I, can I say Rajkumar and I have met many, many years ago, and we've had conversations a couple of times on this and that. We haven't met, but I really enjoy looking at your work.
Thank you so much.
Yeah, you are one of the few people who really excites me when I look at film or anything that you do. So we start with you. I know that you have to leave at 8. You're okay about that? Okay, because it's very hard to actually get you to to actually have a conversation. So I wanted to actually start by asking you that I believe that you are, I think, the last of the filmmakers working in Hindi cinema to make what we used to call a pan-Indian film. I think after you, I really haven't seen anyone who puts together the kind of elements, actors, stars, stories, which are relatable and which are emotional and which connect in the kind of ways that movies in the 70s and the 80s used, not the 80s so much, but the 60s and 70s, where storytelling was right on top and everything else came later. So I wanted to ask you, this is something I've asked you before. When you start to make a movie, I remember once you told me that you lock yourself in a room, and if you don't cry and laugh at the same time, then you are not going to write that. So tell me a little bit about that process. What makes a Rajkumar Hirani film a Rajkumar Hirani film?
Oh God, that's a tough one. Anyway, I think first of all, big congratulations. I'm actually personally so happy to see Screen come back. Because I was just telling somebody, my earliest memory of Screen is, I grew up in Nagpur, and there used to be a small newspaper stall just right outside my dad's office. And those were many years back, 30, 40 years back, I don't know when I'm talking about. So film magazines padhne ke liye roka jata tha ki, oh, you're not allowed to. But my dad used to allow me to read Screen because he said, no, newspaper hai. It used to come in a format which was like a newspaper. So that's my earliest memory of Screen. So a big congratulations for being back. Okay, now coming to your question. Uh, See, I don't know. I wish one could dissect your own process. We've never sat down and tried to dissect, say, that this is a formula to make a pan-India film. You work so much with your own gut feel, I think. Uh, I think any filmmaker, how they choose a subject is uh, because that kind of a subject draws them. Somebody will make horror films, somebody will make thrillers, somebody will make human interest films because that subject draws them. And if it draws you, you have a little more knowledge about that subject, you have some interesting anecdotes about that, you want to say something about it. So in that journey, if you're close to, like if I'm doing a PK, so I obviously have a point of view about talking about religion or God. So, or even a Three Idiots for that matter. So you believe in a certain way education should be, or I've lived in a hostel, so I've seen the life there and I want to say, I know there'll be interesting things to say. So when you start writing like that, first of all, only that way you can write. I don't think we can sit and really say that I'm going to write a pan-India film. Those things happen by themselves. You can't sit in, because if you start sitting and writing like that, I think that's going to be the biggest mistake. Because then you'll say, oh, this person in LA will like this. Let me give him a rap there, or in Bihar, let me give an item song, and then you'll try and make it like a Bhelpuri, which won't. So you have to go with your gut and write.
It's organic, you're saying.
Absolutely,
right?
yeah.
So, and I know that Munna Bhai was going to be a Shah Rukh Khan film. I know, I remember us talking about it that many years ago, and it turned out to be a Sanjay Dutt film. And I don't think any one of us can think of a Munna without Sanjay. So when you actually started doing that, and you made Munna Bhai 2, which was absolutely delightful, we've been waiting all of this while for Munna Bhai 3. वो कभी बनेगी?
I have 5 half-finished scripts lying with me of Munna Bhai. I've spent 6 months, then I've reached, they say, till interval, and then it's not going beyond that, so I've dunked it. I have Munna Bhai BLLB, I have Munna Bhai, a film called Munna Bhai Chal Base.
हमने अमेरिका वाला देखा था
मुन्ना भाई, हाँ, उसका ट्रेलर
segment,
बनाया
हाँ.
था, that was मुन्ना भाई चले अमेरिका.
हाँ.
So because the challenge is, I always feel that if you can't better it or even be close to what we've already made, then there's no point doing it. But right now I have an idea which I think is a very, very unique idea, and that's the thing, one quality we always look in a script, that and find something which is little unique in nature, which is very challenging because 100 days of cinema has happened and
Yes.
everything has been said. So I have one idea which I'm struggling with, and I'm attempting to write it.
Okay.
Hopefully, it's also out of fear. If I don't make another Munna Bhai, Sanju might come and just knock me one day. He really wants to make one more
He
Munna
really
Bhai,
does.
and yeah.
Okay. So coming to Vijay, I'm going to ask you this question. I was going to ask Rajkumar, but have you any memories of screen? Because I know that both of you actually, are non-film people in that sense. You both went to FTII, and you were both students of cinema, and then you started to make, you did years of editing before you actually made your film. You started with a short film with Raj and DK, and then you came to the films that actually didn't really get seen so much, like Monsoon Shootout, for example. I remember being very struck by your presence in that film. It was a very exciting film, but it didn't go big. So the time that you actually broke out was Gully Boy, right? So tell me a little bit about those early years. Do you have a moment where you think of screen as something that you read, or is this going to be a first time experience for you looking at screen?
First of all, good evening. Good evening, everybody. Is my mic working? All right, fab. I'm very thrilled to be sitting next to Mr. Hirani. I've been such an ardent fan of his work. Lage Rao, Munna Bhai and Munna Bhai are quintessential moment in our lives. I remember first, I'll just digress a bit.
Please take your time. Yeah.
He's a super senior of mine from FTI. I went there in 2005. I don't know which year. I think he left in the 90s, 87. So, Lage Rao Munna Bhai released 2006. I was still a student there. And I remember the entire batch of 20 actors went and watched that film. We couldn't get any good tickets. Everything was sold out. That was the first time I saw half an hour make shows or 1 hour make shows. Starts from 7 in the morning. It was such a big deal. So we got the front row tickets, first row. ऐसे इतना बड़ा पर्दा.
ऐसे करके देखा.
हाँ, ऐसे करके देखा हमने पूरी फिल्म और वो पूरी फिल्म को पी लिया हमने और 3 बार और जाके देखा हमने. तो I just wanted to just tell Mr. Hirani that he's a very important influence in Indian cinema and personally for all the FTI juniors that came after you.
And this is completely a coincidence that we have both of you, and both of you are, you know, FTII students. But here you are, students of cinema, now doing cinema. So
yeah,
and with an iconic screen back
correct
at your back, yeah.
So yeah, so screen. I remember watching the awards diligently. I think that made a huge impact for us. It just looked like a very merit-oriented awards. It kind of, you know, made us look at it in a very like, this is legit. This is, they're actually giving awards to people who actually deserve stuff. So I felt like this Screen magazine was doing something that was probably ahead of the curve, and that's my memory of it. I have not interacted with the magazine at that time.
Right. So it's basically, it was more like a journal. It was newspaper size, but we would, I mean, I think it would be more accurate to call it a journal, but we are very excited to bring it back. And something you just said in your remark about people, it was legit, A, and B, people who actually deserve it, yeah. Which is the subcurrent here is that other awards basically are for people who do not deserve it.
No, I mean, I've got Best Dressed Actor award recently or something like that. I'm just saying that, you know, Powerhouse of the Year and, you know, Clutter Breaker or Best Thursday Actor, you know, Best Actor this weekend. So I just saying that.
Right.
That
right.
way.
But you are a sharp dresser. We have to say that. So
thank you so much.
Okay, back to you. Your journey has been very interesting in the sense that like I said, pan-India film, I'm saying it very advisedly because now people are talking about films that come from the South, where people are making these really bigger than, you know, like a massive films with massive stars, with massive moments, and every film has to be bigger and bigger. Otherwise, that impact for people who are watching and buying those tickets is not enough. And I feel in the pandemic, our viewing patterns have changed. Everything, our whole world changed, and everybody still prefers sitting inside their homes and watching movies even on their phones rather than actually coming out, stumping up the ticket and watching something. So do you believe in this changing? And this is a question to both of you, but I will ask you first. Do you believe that we will go back to the kind of movies which are your kind of films, where there will be the human first rather than the machine? Because we are getting into AI now, and everybody is wondering whether AI is going to replace the human. In my opinion, it will never, because the creativity of a machine is going to be machinistic, and you are the most humane filmmaker that we have right now. So what do you have to say about that?
See, I feel, yes, in a way, you're slightly right of the thing that the kind of visual thirst people had 10 years, 20 years back, there was nothing available. There was no OTT. There was not so much content on phone. So visually, you'll be thirsty to end up in a theater every Friday. Kuch to dekh le yaar parde pe. Now that visual thirst is gone. Now people are, before sleeping, spending 2 hours watching reels. So the immediate thing of every Friday landing up in a theater possibly is going away. But at the same time, I feel if you have an engaging enough story, if you can keep them engaged, need not be necessarily that's about scale. You know, then people will go. People hear it's a great story. People will go. That's my personal opinion. People will go and watch. We might not be providing it. We might be failing in giving that, but you give it to them. I don't see any reason why they. You know, when we listen to music, we don't say that. You listen to some of the most simplistic song. There's nothing, no orchestra, big orchestra playing. So it's not about scale. it's about a connect. If the story can find a connect with the person, people will go. And there have been examples even recently that people have gone out, which are not scale films. In fact, scale, I feel, can get exhausting beyond a point. How bigger can your explosions become, you know? Beyond a point, आप थोड़ा बढ़कोगे, sound बढ़ता जाएगा, और ऊपर जाएगा आपका bum, पर, you know, that's not going to, it's the drama of the thing which will, you know, we always give this example that, you know, you have a train coming and you see a man walking on the track. And as a viewer, say, "Arey yaar, ye niche aayega, niche aayega." That's a little bit of thrill. But if you tell the audience that man is deaf, the thrill is double. "Arey, ye to marega, usko sunai nahi de raha hai." So I think engaging the audience comes from your scripts. And then it's not about scale. So some film will come and, you know, go beyond, which has been happening now. Some films have come, they've gone beyond.
Yes, that you're right. But this also this year, 2024, there have been only 2 films which have actually worked, so to speak. Everything else, especially the really what we used to call tentpole, still do tentpole, big star, big budget films, have all pretty much crashed and burned at the box office. So that's why I asked you the question about, you know, what is it that the human element, I think, once you
They
have
have more
that,
choices now. I think people have more choices. They're also watching, in a way, a globalization of cinema has happened. People are watching cinema from rest of the world also. So there's some great cinema. They have enough choices. So they're being selective about, only when they hear some great things, they'll go to the cinema hall. But it's only I think the platform will change. I don't think cinema seeing will stop. They might not sit in the theater, they'll see it somewhere else. But I guess everybody needs stories.
that will of course never change, hopefully. Vijay, I'm going to ask you the same question, but I will extend it by asking you that most of your work in the last few, let's say a couple of years, has all been straight to OTT, or it has been it's been a Netflix original, for example. Do you feel sometimes that you want to see yourself on the big screen? Does it limit you to have a screen which is smaller than the 70 mm?
Yeah, actually, I think I had a theatrical before the pandemic. I've not had the theatrical release since. So all the stuff, and I have 2 to 3 or sometimes 4 releases a year, and they've all been on the streamers. So I've been on the other side of it. So the whole box office business and what it does to an actor, what it doesn't do to an actor, what it does to a filmmaker is something that I can only look from the outside. So I'm not really a party to it. Having said that, I've found great audience on the streaming platforms. I have some of the stuff that I did really translated a lot. So I don't see any big difference for me because the work has been churning out. The quality of work has also been improving. The kind of scripts that I'm reading are also getting increasingly better. But I see. Do I want to look at myself from the big screen? I get to because I go for my premieres, and they're all on the big screen. But do I want others to watch me on the big screen? Yes. And let's make that happen. I don't know how to do it. I'm sitting with a guy who can actually make it happen.
Yeah. Yeah, in fact, I was going to ask you a couple of questions. One is that what you talked about the numbers, right? Is Rajkumar, does this numbers game, how much of it is real? How much of it is a bogey? How much of it is completely made up? Because we don't have still, after so many years of my working, I mean, looking at cinema from this side and asking this question about what is it a hit and what is not. Because a distributor told me long years ago that if a movie you make with 200 crores and it makes 210, and if something you make with 36 lakhs and it makes, like, say, 1.5 crore, that small film is actually the bigger film. And still, till there, from then on, it's been something that I've actually, been aware of. But for you, your PK also, I think Three Idiots still hasn't budged from that, top 10 in Indian blockbusters. How much of the numbers game, as I asked you, how much of it is, to use Vijay's word, how much of it is legit? and how much of it is completely made up? It's all smoke and mirrors, or is it actually something that we should be as audience? Now, I believe that we are going too much into this. Is film में कितने बनाए या ये फिल्म कितना बनाएगी? How much of that conversation that is now seems to be like a part of each promotion, each film, how much of it does impact you as a filmmaker, and how much of it is, you think, detrimental to the way movies are being made today?
So I very honestly feel it's a very sad way of judging cinema. So to all of us, cinema means a lot. It's a piece of, you might call it art, not art, but to me, it's a very collaborative art where we really work very hard for many years to create something. And if it's being judged by money, it's a sad thing. There was a time when it would be judged by how many weeks it's running, and so many people are watching it for such a silver jubilees and golden jubilees were the terms used. But yes, now figures keep floating around. I'm actually not the right guy to be able to tell you how it happens, legit, not legit. And but yes, one does see figures which are sometimes net, which are sometimes gross, which are ways of saying. And it's actually, I don't know how it started. In a way, I'm sorry, but it started from.
It started with Gajini.
From coming, it's actually newspapers putting it out like that. Then producers started putting it out like that, and it's a trap. You fall in your own trap. You try judging your films, and then now people have this whole thing of putting comments. So they go and comment, they judge the film by how much business it. So it does affect us. Ideally, one would like a situation where people just stop talking about how much business it's doing and just talk about how the film is. Yeah.
How you
Because
felt-
very honestly, if
Yeah.
you look at, none of us will remember how much business Mughal-e-Azam did or what any film in the past did. We judge that film by a memory of that film. Wow, that was a great film. We're not remembering that film by saying, hey, did that film out there in the 70s did this much of business, that's why it's a great film. Finally, it's how much space it made in your heart is you remember it by, you know.
Right. It's like how they, yeah, right. What an absolutely lovely answer, because it's truly you, as someone like me who watches movies, and I write about them. It's about how it makes me feel ultimately. That's really truly where it's at. So I'm going to ask you, Vijay. You have been doing all of these. Lots of your roles have been sort of in the gray zone, in the negative kind of. I mean, I don't like the word negative or positive, but in the gray zone where you actually, in one, you are a serial killer. And I know so many people who came up to me and said, you know, when I watched your character on screen, when they watched it, they were like, they couldn't sleep for nights on end because they gave chills. Is it something that bothers you, that you see a pretty girl and they'll think of the character that you played and say, yaar, isse to bhago?
Yeah,
Do you
a
ever feel
lot of
that
pretty,
way?
a lot of pretty girls and their mothers have come and told me that they are very scared of me, and it did bother me. It used to bother me actually. The introduction of extremely diabolical men that I have on screen played
The
started
Hard
with
was one of those, yeah.
Pink. It started with Pink. It
Pink,
was a
yes.
minor part, and I remember it was a women's screening. All the actresses were invited for the screening. Sujita organized it in Yashraj. And I remember some of these people that I've always seen on screen, singers, musicians, actresses. It was first time I'm just meeting all these people, seeing all these wonderful stars for the first time. Screening se pehle, all happy and this and that. And at the end of the screening, some of them were crying and not leaving the theater. And I tried to kind of go and console somebody. I think Sunidhi Chauhan. I'm like, are you okay? She's like, don't come near me. I'm very scared of you. I'm like, oh my God, what has happened? And then Shujita and the director took me out and they said, you did a great job.
Exactly. I think I remember Anant, when we were speaking to a conversation with Alia, and he said, darlings, domestic abuse है ना मैं नहीं देखूंगा. mere se nahi hoga.
Yeah.
You know, those kinds of characters. I mean, now I want to ask you, Rajkumar, you see, I don't know whether you've seen any of his films, and you make films with the most lovable, the most like, you know, matlab, अच्छे इंसान. Would you ever consider, you know, someone like
No, I've changed that
बुरे-
stereotype already, by the way. Go watch IC 814.
Yeah,
Go
yeah.
watch Murder Mubarak. Go watch Jaane Ja.
No, I think he's a fantastic actor, and I haven't told him actually. We've been writing something, and I would have called him anyways. we've
सर मेरे को आदत है बहुत बार
नहीं,
साइन
नहीं,
करके भी
मैं-
मुझे निकाला है लोगों ने.
ये अलग से बोलना चाहिए था, अभी आप मिल गए यहाँ तो. So, but you know, it's all kinds of cinema which makes cinema interesting. If everybody was to make one kind of cinema, it would be the most boring space to be. It's like all kinds of food. You go from here and you'll suddenly see one Udupi to a Chinese to a Japanese to. That's what makes life interesting. So similarly, cinema, villains make it interesting.
Right.
If you have no villains,
But I
then
think
cinema
it
can
would
be
take,
boring.
I would.
It's been a while since I've played a villain. I'm just letting you guys know.
Okay. No,
It's
but
been a while since I've had a villain. So I think
I was in fact going to ask you, what is it that is going to push you into creating a character who's so black that आपकी फिल्मों में तो ढूंढने से भी नहीं मिलता है. तो वो, I mean, we're waiting for that. But okay, so to get back to the kind of, this is a question that I want to ask both of you. In the last few years, the trolling that happens of filmmakers, of actors, of people who are basically doing their job, comes from people who are being personal or being, I mean, basically, the kind of language that it is used is really deeply offensive. How do you, both of you, I know that you are not, you know, that much into social media, but I know that you are. How do you deal with this kind of negativity that surrounds you? Do you believe that there is some kind of corrective measure that stakeholders can engage in, where you can talk about this kind of stuff and what bothers you? Do you think that is even a possibility? Or the corollary to this is, do you think that this is now a genie that will never go into the bottle back again? So please, you want to take it first? Or yeah, go ahead.
Yeah, so I've been hearing the noise, the kind of, you know, and what hurts me the most is, you know, the innocent person might think that uh, this is real. What is written by a person, but some of it is so motivated and paid for, which has been the biggest shock, and I think that is something that needs to be curbed. कि मतलब पहले जब ये सोशल मीडिया नहीं था तो कोई फिल्म रिलीज होती थी तो उसके बारे में बात होती थी और दो दोस्त लड़ते भी थे, बट वी डिडंट हैव अ प्लेटफॉर्म टू काइंड ऑफ पुट अ वॉइस आउट देयर. But now we live in a time where people have a platform to say whatever they want to say, so we can't take that away. But I'm saying anything which has some monetary attachment to it, that is something that should definitely be curbed.
But do you want to, I'm in the sense that nobody really calls it out. Abhi aapne bola monetary attachment. Can you actually say this upfront and say that this comes from a monetary attachment, so therefore don't say it? Can you actually say
I mean,
this?
some of these profiles have zero, they don't even have a display picture, there's nothing posted. I mean, I'm sure there are ways to find this out. The
Yeah.
technology has come to a place where they can actually crack it down, is what I feel.
Agar karna chahe to.
Karna chaho.
What about you? What do you think?
see, there was a time when, few years back, when I used to find the world very disturbing and evil. Then I switched off Twitter, switched off Instagram, switched off Facebook. I never was on. And suddenly world is seeming very, very nice to me.
That's it.
So I think we're living in a world of necessary. This is a evil. Unless there are laws stopping like comment section on it and those kind of thing, all we can do is right now stop reading it. And
no, but we hope that you will.
I'm not on it. I have no news channels. I actually don't switch on the TV, very honestly. So So then it's okay.
नहीं ठीक है ना तो screen इसी it's I think it's coming back at the right time. I think we are going to reclaim the space where objectivity, impartiality, integrity is all part of the way we do film journalism. And when we like or not like your film, it is not personal. It is whether we like or not like your work. It's not an attack. It's just basically something that we believe, and we believe in the fact that we need to be objective about what we are saying. So I think I really do believe that I'm sitting with both the people who have been at the receiving end of negativity, but something like a screen, does that excite you? Something like the existence of a portal or a space, safe space that you can actually speak your mind to, does that make you happy?
I think real stories, real journalism, uh, real takes, and diverse opinions, and sometimes saying things as it is. All of it is very much required for the business and for the improvement of arts. And because when we make the film, we go all in and we psych ourselves out. We love the story. We do what we want to do, and it comes out. And sometimes it's not loved, not accepted, not liked, and then we take our time to process it. And and each personality has a different way to deal with it. But I don't know what, I lost my chain of thought
No,
right
that's
now.
fine. I wanted to actually not let you go before I asked you this question because I'm getting signs that we need to wrap. You finally got to work with Shahrukh in Donkey. How was all the wait of all those years, was it worth it? How was the experience of working with this actor that you wanted to do it right in the 2003 and then 2023? So 20 years. How did the
No,
wait?
working with
Yeah.
Shahrukh is absolutely worth it because he's the most charming human being who just brings a lot of positivity on the sets. He walks in and there's going to be just happiness on the sets. And what was more amazing for me was that I always thought that he's a very impromptu actor. He'll just come and say his lines on the sets, but he used to prep so much, which is always good for a director, that if somebody preps so much before much before you go on the sets, you know what's going to happen. So I didn't realize he's going to be so hardworking. So I had complete joy working with him.
Right. So you've used the word happiness and joy. So I wish you both great happiness and joy on all the sets that you work on in the future. And thank you very much for being here.
Thank you so much, Shubhra-ji. Thank you for having
Thank
us
you,
here.
Shraddha. Thank you.
Oh, okay. Wait. 3 questions from the audience. Okay. Who wants to go first? Yeah, go ahead, please.
Hello.
Yeah.
Hello, everyone. Rajkumar sir, Vijay sir, and ma'am. Uh, I wanted to know this one thing, sir. Rajkumar sir, this question is for you. Last weekend on Saturday, my entire family, we switched on the TV, Netflix. Dunki was the movie of the night. I have seen it already, but I wanted my parents to see it. And the reactions were like they were numb by the end. And by the end, there was a complete history how people migrated to different countries, how they crossed borders, how difficult it was, how they were stuffed in cars and all. And my dad did all research about that. What is this route known as? How the trade route happened? He went to check Google and all. And my mom, while she was doing her work, she was completely discussing about you and your films. Actually, my uncle works as a sound that mic, the guy who hold mic for your movie, Mr. Munna. So he started this trend 3 Idiots से कि हमारे घर पे राजकुमार हिरानी सर का फिल्म अगर आता है कभी, we'll see. Due to some reasons, my granny got expired, so we couldn't watch the movie in theaters. But I made them watch it, and that was talk of the town. Thank you for your cinema. We really love it, and sir, India is proud of you. Thank you.
Thank you so much for this is really kind. Thank you so much.
Okay. Who's next? Yeah. Yeah. Yeah, please go ahead. I think right here and then Anant. Yeah. Okay.
Okay, hi. I'm Praveen, and I just want to congratulate both of you all Thank you so much for all the work that you've been putting in. And thank you so much for hosting this panel. It was a serious but a very entertaining discussion at the same time. I just want to make it a little unserious, just like our brand Bummer. So this one's for Raju, sir. Sir, if you had to make a movie with underwear as the crux, what would you do and how would you do it?
I made one without an underwear. Amir wearing a transistor in PK.
You should have moved earlier.
Yeah, just one.
I'm putting Tanuj on the spot because Tanuj is here.
Hi, Raju. We're all in the same
Hi, how are
industry.
you?
Very well. Just a quick question, which is a hot topic of discussion amongst us producers today. Do you feel that we're very quick in our business to arrive at sweeping generalizations? So suddenly when we have, 3 rom-coms that work, we all talk about rom-coms getting back into fashion. Suddenly when we have these larger than life event films that work, we suddenly, arrive at a generalization that, hey, this genre is dead and this genre is in. Do you think we're very quick in arriving at sweeping generalizations and we should be a little calmer and sort of view every film contextually? Or are generalizations the norm of the day?
I'll tell you a funny story. When I made my first film, Munna Bhai MBBS, I came from institute, then I was an editor, then I made ad films, and then that was so I was not really connected with the industries. I didn't know the rules of the industry. The film got made, trials started happening, and of course I can't take the name. One very big filmmaker walked up to me, he saw my film, he liked it, but he, with his arms around me, took me to one corner and he said, "Ki kya kar diya tumne?" So I got scared. The film is releasing in 2 days. I said, "What happened?" He said, "How can you take Sanjay Dutt, who's an action hero, and make him do a film like this? How can you make a whole film in a hospital? How can you shoot all your songs in Bombay? You have to go out of Bombay, Switzerland, you have to go." So there were some 4 or 5 things which were very general rules, which he thought were necessary to make a film like that. I panicked. That night I couldn't sleep. I said, "I've done a disaster." Of course, then, people I thought liked the film. So I think, yes, we do make judgments, and our judgments are based on what's happening to other films. But cinema is such a, I should say, fluid medium, One film will come and will break all rules. So, Javed Saab ne ek baar kaha tha. Javed Saab said a very interesting thing. He said, मैंने शोले की फिल्म स्क्रिप्ट पहले किसी और प्रोड्यूसर को सुनाई थी. उन्होंने सुनी और उन्होंने कहा अच्छी है, पर चलेगी नहीं, कभी पहले ऐसे कभी देखी नहीं. ऐसी पहले फिल्म कभी देखी नहीं है हमने. So people want to see, people want to be sure कि अच्छा ऐसा चल चुका है, successful रहेगा, तो अब हम बनाते हैं. But to me, that's a sure shot recipe for disaster. If you've seen something, why would you want to see it again?
Right.
A
Anant?
lot of backbenchers there.
Yeah, we have many hands at the back. So, okay, let's go there first and then we'll
Vijay now.
get you, don't worry. At the back,
Directed.
4 hands I can see. Can just like 2 people from the back, please? 2 at a time, yeah. Quickly.
Good evening, everyone. So my question is for Rajkumar, sir. Sir, as a viewer, should we wait for Munna Bhai 3 or for your new upcoming projects?
So I'm at the stage where I'm like evaluating a couple of scripts. Which one should I now spend next 6 months of my life writing? So Munna Bhai is there, and I'm seriously thinking about.
And one question for Vijay, sir. Sir, I've been looking at your acting since Gully Boy. So it was the wonderful acting you have done in your career till now. But just want to know that how was your experience working with the rappers? Like, so can you please explain?
With rappers on Gully Boy?
In Gully Boy.
In Gully Boy, it introduced me to Bombay hip hop scene, bro. And I fell in love with it. I had heard this music for the first time, Nazi, Divine. And then I met all these boys. They were here. They just started out. And they were all hanging around on the set. MC Altaf, Emi Vantai.
So did you did you learn the language of that Bammai, Bachi and Bantai like that?
हाँ तो फिल्म में क्या किया मैं?
किया ना sir.
हाँ
बस
किया
वही
ना,
पूछना था
बड़े
sir.
वाह
Thank you
वाह.
so much.
All right. Yeah, go ahead, please.
Hi, my name is Vidhi. My question is to Vijay. You're so handsome. Sorry. Okay.
You're so handsome, she said.
Thank
Okay.
you so
Hi,
much.
Vijay. My question is, it is very important to have that self-love in your life right now. You need to love yourself. So, what is one character that you feel very proud about? That yeah, I did that. And मेरी एक तमन्ना है आपसे पूछने की कि
नया 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 नहीं है कुछ.
कि आप जरा उस पे खुल के बताइए. Thank you.
So I am very proud of. I'll just take a moment to tell about two projects that I feel बहुत सारे ऐसे projects हैं जिनको बहुत प्यार मिला है, बहुत लोगों ने देखा है. But there are a couple of them which I feel like are hidden gems, not watched by many, but I personally love them a lot. One is Kalkut, a series called Kalkut, in which I'm playing it's a coming of age of a police officer, which is very interesting. And another is called OK Computer. It's another genre mash which has never been achieved before. It's a sci-fi and a comedy together. So these two are very interesting, and that's my self-love because they were both passion projects, and I did it only on my conviction.
I loved you in Daleks because you were a big red flag and I loved you. Thank you.
Great. Wow. Okay.
Thank you.
Big fan you have. I have to say about Kalkut, which I think is outstanding.
Thank you
yes,
so much.
you were very, very good in that film. Yeah.
Thank you.
The series, yes. At the back, yeah. One more, and then we'll get to Anant. Yeah.
Thank you so much for this opportunity. A very good evening to all. I am Abdullah Khan, a physics teacher, and I have a very simple, or I would say, maybe a little bit complex, since I'm taking this privilege to ask this to the right people. Had Hirani sir been a director and Vijay sir, you been a teacher in real life? Okay.
Teacher in,
So,
sorry?
a teacher in real life.
Imagine
Suppose-
that he's a director and I'm a teacher.
Yes, I'm imagining what Hirani sir is, and I'm imagining you as a teacher in real life. So how would your paths have crossed? Could you have imagined, like, you played a teacher in Dahad,
Yeah.
and I saw that, and I was really charmed by it, though you were the villain in it. And and unfortunately or fortunately, I should say
I just
that
met somebody who saw the heart 6 times.
I'm sorry for that. I got to see it just once because I'm a teacher myself, and again, I am being titled as the most sarcastic teacher by my students. So yes, I would really like to know if had you been a teacher, so what would have been your change in life? And definitely, Hirani sir, if you direct him as a teacher or anything, like whatever is on your mind, so what would be the parameters on your mind, sir? I would really like to know this. So it's like a question to Vijay sir, being a teacher, and Hirani sir as directing him as the parameters with the same thing.
वो मेरे सर के ऊपर से गया. So.
Okay, I'll make it simple. I'll make it simple. If you were a teacher,
I can't be a teacher because मैं मारवाड़ी हूँ. मैं मतलब मैं
मतलब मारवाड़ी टीचर नहीं हो सकते
नहीं
क्या?
मतलब मैं पढ़ाई में ज्यादा तेज नहीं था ब्रो. मैं 52% के ऊपर आया नहीं मुझे. तो कौन बनाएगा टीचर? I can become an acting teacher.
तो याद है वो टीचर ना वो टीचर तो सिर्फ देखने को था लेकिन अंदर से तो वो बहुत कुछ और था ना. तो that I think that is okay, right? Marwadi.
But that teacher was very well directed by Rima Kakti.
Yes. So I think we get one last question from Anant and then we'll wrap. Yeah.
No, I was giving a hand sign to say move the questions along. I think they think I wanted to ask a question, but since I've got the mic, I was looking at the old covers of Screen, and one of the things that I think changed then and now is that nobody reported the numbers earlier. You'll discuss this earlier. You discussed that nobody spoke about how much money they've made and all of that. Now everybody talks about it. Probably because at that time a lot of black money also was. I mean, a lot of the business was in cash. So you never wanted to show off earnings, and you didn't want the tax guys coming after you. I don't know, whatever. But I think now the one thing, and you're both outsiders. Now you've become an insider, Mr. Rani, but that one thing I think has changed a lot. Ki everybody's really into showing. It's not just how much the film has made, but I've seen leading actors talking about how expensive their car is, how expensive their house is, how expensive their holidays are, how much money they've spent, how much money they've earned. It's got nothing to do with cinema anymore. And a big part of stardom is actually just wealth. Uh, and when you see the successful cinema in the South, I remember as a kid, we had one Screen Awards in the South. My mom's here; she started the award shows. I went with her, and the guy sitting next to me was the best actor, and he was dressed the same way as everybody in the audience was dressed. They were all wearing the white lungi and a white kurta, and they're the guys who are dominating now. So I think somewhere, okay, long question, but both as outsiders, has the showmanship gone to a toxic level where it's coming in the way of art and cinema?
I feel we can't really generalize this and say it's a very individual thing. If you are very secure in your boots, then I don't think it will really matter how you dress up or in which car you travel and how people. If there's certain amount of insecurity, which there is, I'm not saying you see. I've seen amongst actors also who've just come in, not even done one film, but they feel they have to have a certain kind of a car, otherwise they would. Which I keep telling them, don't. It doesn't. Nobody's going to give you a role seeing your car. We'll see you and give you a role. So I think it's come from a space of how secure in your head. I remember when I met first time Amir in my life. So for 3 Idiots, I went to narrate the script to him. We heard the script. He said, "Acha, chalo abhi, we'll go and meet Vinod. जाके बाकी के आगे की बात कर लेते हैं." He wore his toned rubber slippers in his shorts, and we traveled. Oh my God, ye hero hai meri film ka. So if you are secure, you really won't worry about all these things.
Yeah. Vijay, do you feel the same way as an actor? Like, do you feel like you feel like compelled to, everybody's, it's on Instagram. Whoever buys a Maybach gets a photo on Instagram and keeps going. Like, do you feel this kind of stuff? Like, do you feel that you'd rather stay away, or do you feel that you want it yourself? Like, how do you think about it?
See, you have to put your best foot forward, and it could be different for different people. But I was born, raised humbly, and Bombay also kept me very humble for several years when I came here. So I realized that there is some kind of a peace in just doing, being, to be okay with the resources that you have in your life, and to make peace with it. And then once success comes, of course, you have more resources, but you remember that, that was enough. I still drive around the car that I bought 4 years ago. I realized I outgrew out. I could have got another car next year because I kind of got some success, but I just decided I'm going to use this car for 5 years and I'm going to stick to it. But you have to put your best foot forward, because this is again part of it is also show business. But that can't be your identity. And that cannot be a point of discussion about you. Because what you create on screen as characters is the only thing that people will remember in a longer run. I think Pankaj Tripathi summarized it best for me. He said कि पॉपुलर को हिंदी में क्या बोलते हैं? हाँ, नहीं
लोकप्रिय
नहीं, हाँ वो कह रहे हैं मैं चर्चित नहीं बनना चाहता हूँ, मैं यादगार बनना चाहता हूँ. So yeah, Maybach will bring you into the news, but will it make you memorable? I don't think so.
I think Vijay, आपकी तो deal close हो गई है. Deal is sealed.
Okay, I think
I will never
we
put
have
that
just
pressure.
one person who's been very, very keen. I think
But you have to keep your question extremely short.
But
He has
very
to
short,
leave now.
please, because everyone. Yeah, thank you.
Quick.
So my question is to Rajkumar sir. That sir, in such a long career and the industry you belong to has glamour and success everywhere, but no one talks about failures. And as youth, I am Parv. I serve as a volunteer in the organization known as IIMUN. It's a youth organization. So we organize conferences and we fail many times. And as we are a Gen Z generation, we do not know how to deal with failures. What was your biggest failure and how did you bounce back from it? So, yeah.
Very.
So how was it? Sorry, I didn't get the last. How was your?
What was your biggest failure that you faced in such a long career and how did you bounce back from it? How did Rajkumar Hirani sir become Rajkumar Hirani after that failure?
How did you
So-
snap out?
See, failures is not necessarily just you're doing a film and that. So films, I've actually been very lucky that most of my films have worked. So failure in that sense, you've not seen, but you see failures in various different ways. I think it's a mind game. Actually, I always tell that the stories you tell your mind will decide your life. All of us tell stories to our mind, we are responsible. What we practice is what we become, I feel. If we keep telling cynical stories to our head, the maximum conversation we do is with ourselves. It's like suppose I call up Anant and suppose he doesn't pick up my phone. And I say, Acha, mera last film thoda, ye phone nahi utha raha hai. No, he might be busy somewhere actually, he's not picked up the phone. Suppose this happened a couple of times and I meet him, my behavior towards him will be based on a story which I have created in my head, not based on reality. So the more positive stories you tell yourself, you will be able to fight all your battles, all your this thing, because we fail in our heads first. Actually, the world doesn't fail you, we fail in our heads. You have to keep this alive.
Okay, so I think we've talked about perception, illusion, reality, and we are right behind screen, or you're right ahead of it. A perfect combination. And thank you, everyone, for being a wonderful audience. And thank you again for both of you for giving us your time.
Really, it was our delight. Really,
thank you so much.
We
Thank you
really
so much,
wish you
Vallabh.
had little time.
And
We could have spent so much more time.
I
जी,
tell you
लेकिन
what,
एक आपके साथ ग्रुप फोटो तो बनती है फॉर स्क्रीन आर्काइव और आप तो जरूर आए बिल्कुल आपके बिना तो हो ही नहीं सकता आए प्लीज एंड we'll invite our screen team members who've been really talented, working extremely hard for the longest time. Anant, please come. And so our partners. हाँ, so, yeah, नीचे आ जाए. And then at the back we'll show you अगर आपको याद है दिल दिल धक धक.
दिल दिल धक 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 दिल दिल धक धक दिल दिल धक धक दिल दिल so धक धक दिल दिल धक धक yeah धक धक दिल दिल धक धक दिल दिल धक धक कैमरा में देख के बोलना है बस ऐसे ही कैट बोल देना क्या शोर चलेगा चलिए ठीक है बोलो और पूछेगा बोल देना दिल दिल धक 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 दिल दिल अब से अब तक सदियों की निशानी है फिल्मों की जुबानी है स्क्रीन दिल दिल बड़ी तस्वीर है कैसे करो ये म्यूजिक डायरेक्टर आगे बढ़ती कुछ पीढ़ियां हैं कैसे बोले आगे बढ़ती कुछ पीढ़ियां हैं वो लोग आगे बढ़ती कुछ पीढ़ियां कहां दिल दिल धक धक दिल दिल क्या है I was saying what do I do? दिल दिल धक 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 दिल 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 धक 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 दिल 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 धक धक दिल 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 धक धक तब से अब से कब तक धक धक दिल 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 धक 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 दिल 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 धक धक तब से अब से लम्हा की कहानी है सदियों की ज़बानी है दिल दिल धक धक दिल 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 धक धक तब से अब से कब तक
तहरीरें हैं, तहरीरें हैं, चलती फिरती तकदीरें हैं, कुछ अपनी तस्वीरें कुछ तहरीरें छोड़ गए, सपने लेकर चले गए, ताबीरें छोड़ गए, सदियों की निशानी है, फिल्मों की ज़बानी है, धक दिल दिल धक 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 दिल 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 धक धक, तब से अब तक, अब से कब तक,
Ready?
कैमरा में देख के बोलना है, बस ऐसे ही कैट बोल देना है, शोर चलेगा, चलिए ठीक है,
बोलो और पूछेगा,
बोल देना है,
दिल दिल धक 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 दिल दिल,
अब से अब तक, अब से अब तक,
सदियों की निशानी है, फिल्मों की जुबानी है, स्क्रीन
दिल 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 दिल,
बड़ी तस्वीरें
कितने करो ये म्यूजिक डायरेक्टर आगे बढ़ के